but that's not really how I am. I'm trying to embrace my whole personality, which I have just accepted is extra. It is dramatic and emotional and just a little bit much, but that's okay. That makes me an apartment that's more like the second one than the first one, and that's 100% okay. Thinking about moving to the Boston suburbs? Today, we're exploring 2 apartments in Wellesley, Massachusetts, both around $3,500 to $4,000 per month. If you're looking for quiet, upscale living with easy access to the city, Wellesley is a perfect place to check out. Before we jump into the apartment tours, let's talk about why Wellesley is such a popular place to live, especially if you're looking for a quieter lifestyle just outside the city. Wellesley is one of those towns that feels like it belongs in a movie. You've got beautiful tree-lined streets, charming brick buildings, local shops, and that classic small-town New England feel. It's super walkable, which is kind of rare for the suburbs, and it just feels peaceful. It's also known for having one of the best public school systems in the state, so it's a huge draw for families. But it's not just for families, it's also great for professionals or couples who want a little bit more space than the city offers, but still need access to Boston. Speaking of which, the commuter rail runs straight through town and gets you to Back Bay or South Station in just 30 to 40 minutes. So it's totally doable if you're commuting downtown. It's quiet, it's safe, and the apartments here, way more space than you typically get in the city. If you're looking for suburban luxury with an easy connection to Boston, Wellesley is definitely worth a look. So let's check out the apartments. The first one that we're going to look at is called Highland Park. I wanted to look at this apartment building because it's a little bit different than some of the other ones. They're nice apartments, but the building itself is pretty basic. Most of the apartments that we've looked at have been like luxury kind of resort style apartments, but this one is more just straightforward apartments. There really aren't any amenities to speak of, so let's just go check out the apartment. So this is the 1-bedroom apartment. Like I said, it's pretty straightforward and basic, but it is still really nice. You still have tons of space. There's plenty of space here for an island. I mean, you'd have to bring your own island, obviously, but there's an IKEA that's not too far away. You'll be fine. There's a washer and dryer along with a nice bathroom with plenty of counter space. There is only a shower, which is unfortunate because I would rather have a bathtub. I know we've spoken about that in every video, but the bedroom is really good size. I mean, there's tons of space here, which is really awesome. Unfortunately, they only had 1 apartment for us to look at, so it was kind of a quick tour, and like I said, there really aren't very many amenities to speak of. When it comes to parking, you do actually get 1 free parking space included, so that's massive. I mean, the apartments that we were looking at downtown, some of them are charging $500 to $700 a month just for parking. So for this one to get a space included for free is huge. If you have an electric car, it's $150 a month, and if you want an additional space, then it's $250 per month. The only utility that's included with your rent is trash, so you still have to worry about electric, which is probably $100 to $150 a month, and then water and sewer, which is usually about $50 to $75 a month. Okay, so let's talk about pros and cons. The pros, obviously the cost. I mean, this is gonna end up being one of the cheaper apartments that we've looked at, and it's still incredibly nice. The town that it's in is absolutely gorgeous. You're surrounded by massive, beautiful homes. It's very quiet. It feels very safe, very luxurious type of community. The space is huge. The apartment is huge. It was 884 square feet. I mean, that's bigger than the apartment that I have now. And yeah, with the parking included, I mean, that's really a really good deal. Even with the electric car parking only being $150 a month, that's a really great deal. And also easy access to 95. This apartment is only going to be about 20 to 30 minutes away from my work, even at high traffic times. So that's way better than what I'm doing now. The cons, obviously there are no amenities to the building. There's no common spaces. There's no pool. If you like all of those things, that's definitely going to be a big con. I don't think I've ever used any of those things. I always think that I'm going to use them, but then I never do in any of the buildings that I live at. So yeah, there's no space outside of your apartment, basically, unless you want to be outside, and there wasn't really any space outside either. I mean, there's no like furniture or like a grilling area or anything like that. There's nothing. They don't offer anything like that. Just the fact that it's lower cost and the parking is included, I mean, those are massive. All right, so let's talk about the cost. The apartment that we looked at was on the 3rd floor. It was number 300. It was 884 square feet, and it's $3,250 per month. So what do you think? Would you live here for that? Let me know in the comments. All right, so let's go look at the next apartment building. This is a total contrast from the last one. The last one was very basic, straightforward. You get an apartment, you get a place to park your car, you're good to go. This one is more of a luxury resort style apartment. This one is called the Nines. All right, so let's start with the amenities. There's tons of amenities at this building. I mean, the first thing, obviously, easy access to 95. It's right off of 95. So you don't have to worry about driving through town or anything. You're right there. One of the first things that they showed me was a media room with an HD projector and cinema style seating. It looked very nice. And not only can you use this room, but you can reserve it for multiple hours, and it's free. In fact, all of their amenities, the spaces that they had to reserve, were all free. No extra charge for any of them. There was an open-aired space with cabana-style seating, and there was actually 2 different areas. This one is kind of in a breezeway underneath some of the apartments, and then there's also this huge area that's in the middle of the apartment building. It's kind of a triangle shape, but that's where their resort-style pool was. And they had tons of seating out there as well. Tons of places to hang out. There was grilling and dining stations. And then on top of all of that, there was a whole separate entertainment kitchen with what they called a social lounge, co-working spaces. There was a private meeting room, tons of spaces to work and to hang out with your friends outside of your apartment if you need that. There's also a 24-hour fitness center. They mentioned kayak and canoe storage. I don't have a kayak, but if you do, they have that available. There's a pet spa and grooming stations. They have valet dry cleaning service. And then also there's a private garage that it says controlled access to private parking, so I would assume it just has a garage door. It's funny how they can make a garage door sound like it's this massive thing, right? All right, so let's go look at the apartments. The first one that we're going to look at is on the 6th floor, and it's 918 square feet. All right, so here's the first apartment. It is absolutely gorgeous. I love this island. Look at this island. Is this not completely amazing? And the apartment is huge. There's a balcony out there, it looks like, but there's plenty of space in here for everything that I need. Oh, and it looks out onto the courtyard, which is really nice. Yeah, so look at the space. It's amazing. And there's a full-size washer and dryer, which is awesome. Tons and tons of storage. There's more storage over here, like a coat closet. Okay, so let's go look at the bathroom. We'll start with the bathroom. Look at all the storage. I mean, can you even? And there's a bathtub, which is gorgeous, and a shower, which is totally awesome to have both. And then the bedroom. It looks like the bedroom is just like massive. And look at the closet too. I mean, this closet is what dreams are made of. You could have everything organized in here. There's tons of storage racks, which is awesome. Again, I just love the kitchen. The appliances are gorgeous. And I love the countertop and the sink. Not only is it a deep sink, but it has the nice faucet on it. The next one that we're going to look at is on the 5th floor, and it is 775 square feet. Okay, so the next apartment, this one reminds me a lot of the apartment that I live in now, but the countertops are gorgeous, and I love this different color. It's really pretty. And this also has the huge sink, which I love. This is a gorgeous space, and there's tons of extra space in here, which is fantastic. There would be plenty of room to put my desk or a station if I wanted to, like, do crafts. Another extra storage closet and a huge bedroom. I think this is a queen-size bed, so there's tons of space in here for all the furniture that you have. And there's plenty of natural light too, even though this apartment looks out onto the center of the building, which is a very nice pool down there. There's tons of natural light, which is awesome. I can already see the bathroom and I absolutely love it. Look at all of the countertop space, all the storage, and the extra storage cabinet is just fantastic. I love this bathtub. It's the biggest bathtub that I've ever seen. It's wider than most of the other bathtubs, which is fantastic. Look at this cabinet. I'm completely in love with this cabinet. I can't even. Totally in love with it. The closet, again, is massive, and there's tons of space to hang everything that you could possibly think of, which is fantastic. All right, so let's talk about the parking situation. They have a garage, which is very nice. An unreserved spot will set you back $150 a month. If you want a reserved spot, it's $250 a month. And if you have an electric car, it is $275 a month. There was something that was a little bit different about this place than any of the others that I've looked at, which is that you have to bring your own EV charging adapter. Now, I'm not 100% certain what that means because nobody has ever asked me to do this, but I did have a look at one of the cars that was plugged in, and of course it wasn't a Tesla, so I wasn't 100% sure that I'm looking at the right thing, but I think it's this thing that costs $650. Not 100% certain, like I said, it could be this other thing that costs $300. I don't know. Either way, make sure that you factor that into your cost. As for the utilities, they said that trash and natural gas is paid for by the property, so you are only responsible for electric and water and sewer, which, electric, about $100 a month, maybe $150 in the summertime. Water and sewer, $50 to $75 a month. So let's talk about the pros and the cons. I mean, the pros, obviously this is an absolutely beautiful building. The apartments were beautiful. The building was gorgeous. It was probably one of the nicest ones that I've looked at. And one of the biggest pros for me is that it felt like home. It felt like a place that I wanted to be. I could 100% see myself living there. I love the countertops. There are 3 different color selections that you can choose from, and every single one of them was gorgeous. There was tons of space in these apartments. They're massive, even just for 1 bedrooms, they're huge. There's tons of storage. There's extra closets. I mean, the bathroom. The bathroom in both of these were to die for. I've never had that much storage in an apartment before. I mean, this has seriously got me thinking. This is probably about the same price as living downtown. Obviously, there are cons, which we will get to. But, I mean, if there's anything that could sway me away from living downtown, it would probably be this community. It was absolutely gorgeous. And it's in a beautiful business park that's right off the highway, but it doesn't feel like it's right off the highway. You couldn't hear any of the highway noise because of all the trees and everything that was around there. So it just felt like a luxury resort that was outside of the city, and yeah, it just felt really safe. And I love Wellesley, I have to say. It's probably one of the best places that I've visited so far. All right, so the cons, it's a little bit high priced, maybe not for everything that we've looked at, but it is on the higher end of the pricing scheme. It's not downtown. There's no water view. There is somewhat easy access to downtown. You're going to have to get on the commuter rail. It'll take you 30 to 45 minutes to get downtown. If you want to drive downtown, it's going to take you a hot minute to get down there, depending on what time of day. I would think probably an hour to get downtown, depending on traffic. So if you're looking for the downtown type of atmosphere, this ain't it. This is more of a suburban, like very nice upscale suburban neighborhood. And there's tons of things to do around there, so it's not the end of the world, and it's close to work, which is another pro. But yeah, it's not downtown. All right, so let's talk about the cost. The first apartment that we looked at was on the 6th floor. It was 918 square feet, and it is $4,081 per month. The second apartment that we looked at was 775 square feet, and it was $3,749 per month. So you have to have 3 times the total rent in order to move in here as your monthly income. And the total cost, if you have an EV for the first apartment is going to be $4,356 per month. That's with the $275 for parking. And then the second apartment that we looked at would be $4,024 per month. So what do you think? Would you live here for that? Let me know in the comments. All right, so that's what we have for Wellesley. I really liked the second apartment. I thought it was completely awesome. I mean, obviously the first apartment is the practical choice out of these two. It's cheaper and more straightforward, but that's not really how I am. I'm trying to embrace my whole personality, which I have just accepted is extra. It is dramatic and emotional and just a little bit much, but that's okay. That makes me an apartment that's more like the second one than the first one, and that's 100% okay. What do you think? If you had to describe your personality in 3 words, or maybe not your personality, but you as a person, what 3 words would you pick? Let me know in the comments. I'm interested. I want to know. And with that, I did want to give you just a tiny little update on my apartment search. I have put in a couple of applications for some apartments downtown. It is a process because a lot of apartments have 2 or 3 or sometimes 6 applicants. And so there's a lot of hurry up and wait. You got to fill everything out and then you got to wait. And then sometimes there's some negotiating back and forth. So you don't really know until you actually get accepted and you put in a deposit and everything's good to go. So for now, we're going to keep looking at apartments because I'm not moving until the end of September. So let's just go check out some more. And you never know, we might keep looking at apartments because I'm going to have to move again next year. And maybe I'll buy a place by next year. Wouldn't that be awesome? And then instead of apartments, we can go look at condos or houses. That would be totally cool too. So if that's what you want, if you want to keep looking at apartments, if you like these videos and you would rather see videos of apartments or houses, or if you want to see something different, let me know that in the comments too, because I want to make videos that you guys like and that you're going to watch, and I would love to know your opinion. It helps me out so much. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you again next week. We're going to go look at some more apartments.